Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Prodcast channel where we discuss careers in tech and job search experience for immigrants in the US. I'm your host, Anna Naumova, an immigrant myself and a former product manager at Apple. I'm thrilled to be here and sharing my knowledge and insights with all of you. Are you currently at the competitive job market in the US, applying to hundreds positions, facing rejection, and as a result experience stress and frustration? In today's episode, my guest and I will work to help you overcome this anxiety and give you a valuable tips to make your job search more relaxing and productive. But before we get started, I'd like to ask you, please subscribe to my channel. Each week, I release new video covering various topics about product management, job search, and immigration to the US. And if you need assistance with your job search strategy or PM product management transition strategy, please go to annanaumova.com to schedule a call with me. You can find the link to my website at the video description below. All right, I have an amazing guest today. Please welcome Nikita Gupta, co-founder at Careerflow.ai, ex-senior technical recruiter at Uber and Amazon, entrepreneur and career coach. Nikita has not only interviewed hundreds of candidates at major tech companies, but also played a pivotal role in shaping teams and fostering diversity and inclusion. And currently, she is helping people to land their dream job in the US. Hi, Nikita, and thank you
Hey,
for joining me today.
yeah, hi Anna. Thanks a lot for your kind words and thanks a lot for having me on your podcast. Hi everyone. Thanks a lot for listening me today. This is Nikita. As Anna mentioned, I am an engineer slash data analytics analyst who have actually turned into technical recruiter. My background has been into core technical side, and in last few months or last few years, I have actually turned into a recruiter where I work for companies like Uber and Amazon. And I am also a content creator with more than 250K plus social media followers on LinkedIn and Twitter, where I do add a lot of value around like tips and tricks around resume, job search, and obviously helping people out because I've struggled myself when I was a job seeker. So I just wanted to give back to the community as much as I can. And I have thought that this is the best way I can do it.
Yeah. And I'm a big fan of your LinkedIn profile. It's really super valuable, and I highly recommend anyone who is watching this video subscribe to Nikita's LinkedIn profile. I will leave it at the description to this video. A lot of insights every day. Nikita posts some useful and non-obvious tips about LinkedIn, resume, job search in the US, etc. So, Nikita, your career journey has been quite impressive and diverse, spanning from software engineer, data analyst in Singapore, and eventually a senior recruiter and the founder of AI startup. How this impacted where you at right now? Tell me about your journey.
Yep. So my journey has not been like straightforward in terms of just being an engineer and doing it. So I started as an engineer, like like when I was a kid, I was not sure what I want to do. So my parents and my family and everyone, peers, they used to be like, okay, engineering is like most safest job for girls specifically. So why don't you just become an engineer? I became an engineer. Slowly, I started realizing that I don't like coding that much. So I thought about it like, what should I do now? And someone in my network, again, like one of my seniors, told me that she's applying for this role. I mean, not role, I mean, this particular degree into data analytics. And she's going to Singapore University. So I started researching and I started realizing that, okay, this might be a good like role for me going forward or career. So I applied and I got into it and then I went for it. Then I worked for top digital marketing agencies like WPP, Omnicom, and all for almost like 5 years. But sooner or later, I realized that data analytics is also not like really something I love, or this is not giving me that kind of happiness. So 3 years back, when I moved to US from Singapore, I was a job seeker, and there were like millions of people like me in the market who were looking for job opportunities. So I thought, why not just go out and help those people there and give back, as I said, to like, because I've got multiple job opportunities myself in the past when I was applying for jobs from Singapore to Australia and Europe. And I started giving back, just sharing my tips and tricks. And people started getting a lot of job opportunities, interview calls. So slowly it made me realize that I like doing this. I like giving back, helping people. And I want to learn more about how recruitment happens, because I've been a job seeker, but I've never been a recruiter or hiring manager. So I changed my gears and I became a recruiter. I started working with the startup, and eventually, within few months of me working with the mid-level company, I started getting interview calls from Amazon. And while I was working with Amazon, I got an interview call with Uber. So um, I started loving being a recruiter. I started loving giving offers, and I learned a lot how recruiters work, how the other side of the table works, how recruitment happens, and things like that. And that really helped me also to understand that how resumes are scanned, what are applicant tracking system, everything, like what's really happening on the other side of the table, which I was not aware when I was a job seeker.
Yeah, and we will talk about ATS and all that system a little bit later. I just want to learn a little bit more about your experience. Like, tell me about your first job search in the US. How hard was it?
Yeah, I think it was quite hard. One of the reason was COVID. I moved in COVID time, like I moved in May 2020, and it was peak COVID. Like companies were hiring. I'm not going to say companies were not hiring, but they were like more candidates who were applying for the same role. And to stand out from the crowd, I have not done any degree in US. I have not taken any certificate, right? Like since I moved here, so I was like an immigrant, an outsider. So when I used to go through the interview process, a lot of rejections used to happen, and they used to select like local people, which is very normal for any country. Even in Singapore, I used to face a lot of issues. Being an immigrant always. So that was part of there, but I never struggled to face so many rejections before I really moved to US. And that was difficult because you are in a new country, you really want to start working, you don't know where to go, what to do, and you're just not getting interview calls. So that's where I took a step back, started working on my profile. I worked on my resume, LinkedIn, and I realized that maybe I need to add in a little bit more things or tweak in my profile to make it more apt with the job descriptions or the roles I was targeting. And then slowly things started changing. Like within few months, I started getting interview calls, and then eventually I landed job offers. So it was hard initially, but slowly things started working, which I also say on my in my content, that everyone's journey is different. Don't compare your journey with anyone else's journey. Don't look at my profile, what it is today. I have gone through thousands of rejections myself. No one sees that. People see that, okay, she has worked for these companies, she has an amazing profile, but people don't see the rejections behind those acceptance letters. So everyone goes through it, and everyone have seen, like have their ups and downs. And let's normalize rejections. I think that's very, very important.
Yeah, and we will talk about rejections today a little bit later because I think it's so important, especially now in 2023 when people face like high competition in the job market and like even harder, I can say, than during
Yes.
COVID. All right. So tell me about your current startup. What is Careerflow AI and how does it help people to get a job in 2023?
Yes. So Careerflow.ai is an AI co-pilot for your career. We are building an your personal assistant plus AI career coach. So someone looking help not only in their job search but throughout their career. Careerflow.ai is your go-to platform. From last 10 to 11 months, we have been building or focusing on the job search phase of the career. And one of the reason is recession, layoff has been hitting the market, like more than 200K plus, or in fact 300K plus people have lost their jobs and layoffs are still happening. So we wanted to help as many folks as we can. And we thought that manually a single person or few people, humans can't help it. So why not automate and bring in AI and tech to accelerate and help thousands of people who are getting laid on day-to-day basis. And that's where the idea originated. So it's a platform where you can get everything starting from help on resume, LinkedIn cover letter. We have skill matching tool. So whatever comes to your mind in terms of the job search phase, we have it on our platform. Feel free to check it out. 95% of our platform is free. We only do charge for 5%, which is more like a freemium, so that we can sustain the company and what
So
we're doing.
as a job seeker, I can install your app.
Yeah,
Is it like a Chrome extension
yeah,
and use
it's
it for free, right?
Yeah, so it's a Chrome extension plus a web app, and you can download it and you can start using it. We do have a job tracker, which is 100% free, and you can start using it even from today.
Okay, perfect. So what inspired you for launching Careerflow? You already mentioned that you experienced issues with the job search at the beginning of your journey in the US, but maybe something else played the role.
Yeah, like as I briefly mentioned about recession layoff hitting the market. So they were like, because I became a content creator, an influencer, people started reaching out to me more on day-to-day basis, asking for help. And as an individual, I can't help everyone because it becomes really difficult where my my inbox is always flooded with messages, people asking for help, how to get a job or getting um an interview call. So that's where I thought, why not just go back and build something which can help thousands of people who are reaching out to me on daily basis.
And I totally understand you because I have 12, 13,000 and you have 200, even more. And
Yeah.
I'm overwhelmed with messages. I can imagine that, like how overwhelmed you are. And that's why I started my podcast. I have like 2 YouTube channel and 2 languages covering various topics and audience, and just to help people to have this information without reaching out to me. That it's also for free. That's great. I definitely share your approach. So let's switch focus to this fancy tool that recruiters use, and I bet you know a lot about it from your experience at Uber
Mhm.
and Amazon.
Mhm.
Uh, can you describe the role of applicant tracking system (ATS) in the recruitment process? Why do recruiters use it?
Sure. Yep. So applicant tracking system, which is famously called as ATS, it's used by the companies globally, and the reason is because they want to reduce the manual effort of any recruiter or sourcers who are hiring for their company. So using these softwares or systems out there, it's like basically when you apply for any job opportunity on any website, any career website, the systems are there, they match it to you with the job description. So there are some compulsory questions, there are some keywords, and obviously different ATS have different requirements. So when you apply, it goes through the system, and if it's there anything which is not matching or it's not relevant to the job description, it rejects you or push your resume to the rejection pile, and then only the resumes which matches or fills in the criteria of the applicant tracking system goes to the next step, where a human recruiter comes in and we as recruiter sees the profile and then pass it to the next step. So applicant tracking systems are there out there, like for example Greenhouse, Bamboo HR, ICMS. Different companies uses different versions of it or different ATS. And in fact, with AI coming into picture, a lot of companies are making more better ATS. I can say that. So as a job seeker, we need to understand that when ATS or these kind of systems are out there, we need to also make sure that our resumes and our profiles are able to pass through the applicant tracking system. They're matching, they're having the right set of keywords, they are matching at least 60 to 70% with the roles you are targeting. If you're applying for different versions of the different roles, then you have different versions of the resume. So multiple things goes in when you like talk in or when you apply for these roles.
Mhm. Is it true that if my resume doesn't pass ATS, recruiter never see it?
Yes. Yes. So if it's automatically, like for example, you applied today and within a couple of hours or within few hours, you got an auto-generated rejection, then obviously it's not like recruiters are so fast, or humans is so fast that they're rejecting. They're auto-generated rejections. And if you're getting it, then definitely the system is rejecting. You're not even passing it to the next level of recruiter. So making sure that if you're getting that, or if you're getting too many rejections when you're applying, then definitely your resume is not picking up. And that goes hand in hand with LinkedIn profile. If you're not getting directly in mail from a recruiter, then it's not popping up in the search engine of a recruiter when we are looking for a candidate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, but as a recruiter, like, what percentage of this selected resume by ATS do you actually see by yourself? Like,
Yeah, so again, obviously I don't have a number that how much percentage, but obviously it depends on, first of all, how many candidates are applying. So obviously
but
1,000.
I believe, I believe that like in such companies like Uber, Amazon, there are like thousands of
Yes,
application per position,
yes,
right? And it's not
yes.
possible for human to
To
review
locate
all
it.
of them.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, so in that case, definitely ATS or these kind of systems do help that they filter out the resumes which are not at all matching. And there are some compulsory questions where I don't know, like there's some questions which are like compulsory to be added. For example, you need sponsorship. Are you located locally? Are you located out? So there are few questions which are added by us in the job description as a human being. And if those questions don't matches with like for example your answer is no or not the requirement, then definitely it also goes to the auto filtering, and you won't even reach to a human eye where I will be taking a scan and then pushing it to the next level.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So you mentioned like sponsorship, and what's the second important question usually?
So they are generally multiple other questions. I'm just giving an example, like
Okay.
yeah, sponsorships. If you're a local, like for example, some of the, like in fact in COVID time, big tech companies are not, they were not, they stopped hiring outside the country. So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
them were locally hiring. So if you are international candidate, then it's an auto-generated rejection, which obviously people will get in if they're applying from outside US.
Mm-hmm. And as a recruiter, like let's say my resume passed ATS system and recruiter actually can see it.
Mhm.
What's the main, I don't know, like content? Like what are you actually looking for from the resume? What do you look at first to scan and select this interview? What's the most important for you?
Yeah, I think because as a recruiter, I'm talking to hiring managers, I know the requirements. So definitely we are looking for profiles which are matching with the job description. Like within 6 to 10 seconds, we scan the resumes quickly, and we make sure that the resumes which are matching with the job descriptions are only passed with the next step of having an interview with the hiring manager. And within those few seconds, we see the impact. Like rather than just saying that I am a software developer building a website or developing a project, if you really also add an impact to it, that makes your profile stand out in terms of like 100 more people applying for the same role and adding the same sentence.
Mm-hmm. Impact, do you mean that achievement that you usually need to add to your like bullet points?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So impact by that, like there's a format which I generally share with my candidates or with my people or with my communities, like STAR format, which is like situation, task, action, and result. So if you follow that particular format where you actually share that this was a situation, this was a task being assigned, and this was an action you took, and then the outcome in terms of the impact you made on the project or on the company because of your work, then it clearly shows that while you were working with this company, while you were doing that task, what was the outcome? And using that outcome, we can actually decide how impactful can you be as an addition to our company over hiring anyone else or even interviewing anyone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Perfect. So, how can candidates overcome ATS system? And I understand already about the specific format that can be utilized by ATS and that ATS can parse actually. But talking about some like other information, like what else should I do as a candidate to go through this ATS?
Yes. So at Careerflow, we do have a skill matching tool, which actually where you can upload your resume and it matches with the job descriptions you are applying for. And it tells you a score that this is how much your profile is matching. So it's like an um, kind of sort of an applicant tracking system, which we have built in-house to do the skill matching. And it tells you the keywords that these are the keywords which are missing. These are the keywords which are there. And if you add these keywords, then your score will improve. And when your score will improve, it matches more with the job description. And when it matches more with the job description, then obviously you having chances to pass the applicant tracking systems are comparatively more. But there are some older versions of applicant system, like traditional ones. As a suggestion, I can say if you are having colored version of your resume using circles, logos, pictures, don't do that because applicant tracking system reject those kind of resumes. The second thing is it's recommended to use single column resume versus two column resume because again some traditional applicant tracking system do reject them as well. And then obviously making sure that it's having as like I'm not going to say that it should match 100% with the job description because in an ideal world no resume matches 100%, but at least matches 60 to 70% with the job description.
Yeah. So specific format, keywords, 100% match with resume. No columns, no logos, no colors, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. So I've heard about a hack, how candidates actually try to overcome ATS system. They add those keywords in a white color words. What do you think about it? Like, do you also do this life hack using life hack?
Can you repeat the question? I did missed it.
So I've heard from some candidates to overcome this, to pass through ATS system, they created those keywords and put it into their resume in a white color. You cannot even see this text. It's super small white text with like a bunch of keywords. Like, so recruiters cannot even see that, but ATS can read that keywords.
I
What do you
mean,
think about that?
don't do all these things. They are not going like, I mean, even if you matches or ATS will help you to reach to the next level. Recruiter will like we are not fool like you as a human we will like and I have gone through such candidates where people have written like just anything to mask the applicant tracking system or get an interview call, but when we start interviewing them within first few seconds it's very easy to understand that the candidate is just added it for the sake of adding it. They don't even know what's being written in their profile. So don't do all those things because that's not going to help you to land a job offer. The goal is not just an interview call. Your goal should be to actually land an offer, like an actual offer, rather than just thinking from the perspective of that getting an interview is the last thing you want to do it.
I agree. Don't do that. Just like, yeah, be honest with yourself first, I can say. Okay, let's talk about interviews. Having conducted numerous interviews at major tech companies like Uber and Amazon, what common mistakes have you observed in candidates, apart from that we discussed with faking in their resume?
I think first most important thing and majority of the recruiter interviews happen based on your resume. And in fact the hiring manager interview also starts from there, like tell me more about yourself, like what's written in your resume, and everyone has your resume open in front of them when they're interviewing you. So try to be authentic to the part of that you know everything what's written. Like majority of the candidates, as I said, they don't even know 100% what's written in their profile. It seems like they've just written something and they don't even can justify what's written in their one page resume. So that's the first and most important thing. The second thing is try to quantify in your answers. Just don't say that I have done this, but you're not actually coming out with the outcome or the impact you have made with your work. Because if you're not showing the impact, then definitely there are 100 more candidates standing out in the same queue and looking for the same opportunity. So do that, and then prepare a lot of mock interviews, because I've seen a lot of people, they might be good in technical side, but they're not really good in the behavioral interviews. So start looking or like preparing, having a story attached, like when you are really going in the interviews, you should know that what story you are portraying and then justify everything from there. So try to practice as much as you can. Even you can record yourself, listen to it again, practice in front of mirror, practice with your family members. So do as much mock practice as you can, because that's really going to give you a lot of confidence and help you build that conviction that you can answer any question being asked in the interviews.
Yeah, I agree. So practice, do mock interviews, create stories, create practice behavioral questions, quantify your answers, and definitely read your resume and try to match your story with your resume. Interesting. I like this point that you mentioned, that people don't even remember their resume content. Okay, so let's talk about LinkedIn. For job seekers aiming to enhance their LinkedIn profile, could you offer like 3 less obvious tips or hacks? Like, for example, I read your recent post about following companies, how important it is to be selected, to be noticed by a recruiter to follow the companies. Can you provide some hacks?
Yep. So I think for LinkedIn profile, first of all, definitely we do have a Chrome extension which you can download, Careerflow, and it will give you from top to bottom, tells you each and every section how to update and why it's so important. Other than that, understand that as a recruiter, when I'm using LinkedIn Recruiter to find candidates, we use keywords like, for example, don't waste your space by first of all repeating the content, like there's an headline section right below your profile photo, so it has a limited word limit, so don't waste that thing by just saying I'm looking for job opportunities, I'm open to work, and like just don't write something which is not required. Try to add things which are there as like your key achievement, your title, and then your hard skills, soft skills, and try to add as many keywords over just writing something which is very like not needed or random, you're wasting your space. Try to do that, and then on top of it, try to also think of it as a story and as your brand. It's your personal brand, but it's your professional brand. So don't use selfies or unprofessional things on LinkedIn, because it's not your Instagram on Facebook. So try to be professional, try to start from top, like cover photo till your last thing, and try to cover each and every section, and don't leave empty your sections. Like summary section, people just leave blank. Experience section, people just add the title, company name, nothing else. Try to add at least 3 to 4 pointers in everything, and when you try to fill up each and every section from top to bottom, you yourself will start seeing more and more views coming on your profile, more recruiters coming, more hiring managers coming, and eventually you start getting interview calls without even applying. So start thinking from that perspective. And then one thing which I can share, I don't know if people know this, but if your LinkedIn profile is not active from last 90 days, 90 days, then LinkedIn actually push your profile, stop pushing your profile. So basically it assumes it is a dead profile. So start making your profile active. And by active, I mean like you don't have to be a content creator like me or Anna, but you just have to start interacting with people, like start interacting with our post or with recruiters post, hiring manager, reach out to them. Don't send messages like I get messages like, hi Nikita, hello Nikita, can you get me a job, hire me, because these kind of messages are not going to help you in any way. So try to make your message very, very professional, do your research, and then add your skills and everything, and then reach out, because that will help you rather than just sending a random message.
Perfect. I like this advice. So just to repeat, don't repeat keywords. Yeah, use unique keywords in your LinkedIn. It's actually the same like a resume. Just don't overwhelm the same keywords your resume. Build personal brand. Don't add like selfie or photo on a beach or like doing like eating at the restaurants to your LinkedIn. No empty section. Add as much information as possible, and try to be active. Add content, and yeah, I like this advice about 90 days inactive on LinkedIn. I think it's very important, and I think not a lot of people know about it. I think it's very important, and definitely don't reach out your recruiter with the message, "Hi, Nikita, give me a job."
Yeah.
I want a job. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Be professional. Perfect. Can you share a personal story of rejection and the valuable advice your mom provided to you?
Yeah, I think rejections has happened to me multiple times. There has not been a one instance. Definitely, the companies I've worked for, they have rejected me multiple times. Like I used to get rejected by Amazon very easily. I've worked for Amazon then. Uber has rejected me in the past, but then I worked for Uber. So rejections, and still I'm not going to say that I'm a content creator or I'm an influencer with so many followers. I'm so like people know me, people know the brand, people know Nikita, and I'm pretty sure if I am going to go back to the industry, I'm still going to get the rejections. Not every company is just going to hire me because I'm an influencer. So it's fine and it's normal. The only thing is like, don't like take these rejections come to your mind and be like, I should stop working hard or I should stop doing what I've been doing. And as you said, it's easy to get disheartened and just to stop working hard or not continue. But as my mom said, and I've been sharing, that life happens and things happen for good. So if I've not got a job offer from Amazon in the past, it might have been for good, because I wanted to work as a recruiter in Amazon versus as a software engineer or data analytics. And that's why maybe I've never worked for Amazon before. So things happen for good. I know that point of time when you get rejections, you might not feel that this is happening for the right thing. But as you proceed with your life or as you continue with your life and things happen, then you will connect the dots and you will be like, okay, this is why you might have not got the offer at that point of time, or that rejections makes more sense. So be patient. And as I said, just don't get overwhelmed with someone else's success, because your success will come at your own time. And don't just think about that, okay, if she got it at this point of time, why I'm not getting it, because everyone has their own timeline. I'm doing things after 30. Like maybe someone, I can see so many Gen Zs are doing the same thing at 20, 23, 24, right? So I might compare myself to them and be like, I mean, I wish I would have done the same thing 10 years back. Yes, I wish. But they were not resources. Internet was not there. Instagram was not there. I did not even knew what is in being an influencer. I got my first phone when I went into university, like in third year of my university. So things were very different when we were a kid, or when, and I can't, it's not fair for me also to compare that I would have done the same thing 10 years back, because things have changed, right? So just take a step back and stop comparing and just continue and doing what you've been doing.
I love it. I love it. Everything happens for a reason. And I can say the same. When I was laid off in 2019, I created my first article about job search in the US and how hard it is for immigrants to find a job in the US, especially if you're not technical. I don't have technical background and don't write code. And I had issue with my English level. And I started this journey, and now where I'm at right now. So like creating podcasts in English for like immigrants about the job search. And just because I was laid off and experienced a lot of issues and difficulties and rejections during my job search in 2019 in the US. And yeah, I can say thank you for that period of time that gave me this opportunity to be here and talk to Nikita today.
Thanks,
Perfect.
Jana.
Perfect.
Thanks a lot for having me. And thanks a lot, everyone, for listening to me today.
Okay, yeah. How do you see the future of recruitment evolving with the integration of technology and AI?
Yeah, I think AI is one of the most booming word these days. From last few months, everyone is going like all in about AI, and we've been hearing about new technology, new tools coming out. And I think in recruitment space also, there are so many startups, companies who are using AI on the recruitment side. So that's where we don't want it to build a company or a startup which is on the recruitment side, because there are companies or platforms out there. We are building tools which can help recruiters to find candidates. And that's where we thought that why don't we just build something which can help job seekers using AI to actually pass in all the like barriers which recruiters are actually creating. So that's where the Careerflow.ai is being developed and created to help people out there.
Yeah. And so, what the current challenges that recruiters are facing in 2023? Looks like they're overwhelmed with high quality candidates. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so that they're overwhelmed with the high quality candidates. Like, still, um, recruiters are posting the job listing again and again, and the reason is same, because they're not getting the candidates matching with the job requirements. Even if AI is there, I know that AI maybe automate some of the process of the manual hiring process, but on the same hand, still they need the candidate who are standing out. Like, it might reduce their manual efforts of sourcing the candidate, finding the candidate matching manually, but still, if they are not getting, or if they're getting the resumes which are not having an impact or not standing out, not matching, then definitely they need to continue with the hiring process. And on the same hand, even if they get the resumes, then the next step is like, are these candidates really going to clear the interviews? Because if these candidates are just good on paper and they are getting rejected in the technical interviews, or not able to clear the whole hiring process, then it's as bad as like what's written on the resume. So um, I think the process is still same. The only thing AI is helping, or new technology is helping, is to automate a lot of these parts of it. Like, for example, rather than interviewing 50 candidates for one role, now I can interview 5 candidates, because rest 45 candidates AI has rejected by either passing them an AI test, like a technical test, which they can get a score on. And then as a recruiter, if the score is very less, then it's easy for me to do the ranking and then pick up the 5 candidates and then pass it to the next level.
Mm-hmm. And in 2023, where a lot of candidates, high quality candidates in the market, is it easier for recruiter to find appropriate candidates, or is the same hard, or it's harder?
Yeah, I think it's same. I mean, I'm not going to say anything changes, because being a recruiter myself, when you want to really really fill your role, you need to get a lot of candidates in the pipeline, because as I said, not every candidate, because all these big tech companies have a very long process, like 7 rounds, 6 rounds of interviews. And um, you need to not having just one thing good. Like, you need to be good in coding, you need to be good in data structures, algorithms, system design, and then behavioral round, because you have a behavioral round as well. So you need to be good in telling the stories as well. So there are multiple pieces attached to the whole hiring process, not just good on paper or your profile. um, so end to end process, including the offer and then the negotiation, salary negotiation, because a lot of candidates do reject even if it's not matching their salary and all. The only good part I can say is that maybe it's helpful for recruiters is, because of the layoffs and recession in the market, there are more candidates, like more candidates are there, more availability. But again, who are the best candidates out of those available candidates? That's there, right? Like, now the problem is that if you are getting 500 candidates for a role, how to shortlist and how to make sure which are, like, in fact, I have heard in the past few months senior candidates applying for a junior role because they are jobless and they don't have a job.
Yeah. And how to stand out? Like, let's say there are like 50 very high quality candidates. How recruiter even select the best candidate if they're the same based on their skills and experience? What's important right now?
Yeah, I think in that case, obviously there are multiple ways you can do it. Having a recruiter call, talking to the candidate for first few minutes, understanding what's written on the paper is actually being done. It's not just like on paper. Then verifying their background in terms of what they have done in the past, what the impact they have done. A lot of people, I think, might have started coming in with resume gaps because of being getting laid off. So I think that's another thing, that resume gaps should be considered as normal these days, because people got laid off and they don't have a job, and people also tend to take like a break when they get laid off. So in that perspective, people who are not having jobs, got laid off, try to just do some skills, because AI is like one of the most booming industries. So try to learn, at least just have basic understanding of generative AI, learn things about, enhance your skills, try to cope up with what's happening in the industry, and then start applying for the role. So that for me as a recruiter, it's pretty clear that even though you have a break in your career, then also you are standing out in the crowd.
Perfect. And my last question, just your general recommendation in the competitive job market 2023, what strategies do you recommend for job seekers to land their job easier and faster?
So there's no faster rule. I don't want to say that there's like, you, if you follow me, you, or if you follow my advice, you will get jobs quickly. But if you follow my advice, or if you like take my recommendation, then definitely chances are much higher. I can say that, like, you won't stop getting rejections. I would suggest that, first of all, if you're going through the same loop of rejections again and again, take a step back, just take some days off, just keep your mind, because mental health is most important thing during the job search process. And then start thinking from the perspective of that, where I'm getting rejected. Is it application phase? Is it interview phase? Is it like something else, what I'm doing wrong? Try to first analyze, where are you going wrong, where are you getting most rejections, and then try to work on it. Try to make a roadmap, try to make a timetable. And let's say you are getting rejected in auto-generated rejections. So definitely your resume is not picking up, it's not having the keywords, it's not matching with the job description. So try to work on your resume, sit on it for a few days, take help from like career coaches, platforms like Careerflow, or even there are multiple advices out there on internet. Try to just work on it and then start applying, reapplying with the new version of it, and see the difference. Because if you're not doing your homework and if you're not doing your own research, then you will keep on going in the same loop again and again, and no one can stop that rejection better than you. You have to take the help, you need to reach out to people, you need to do the networking. No one can do that for you. So this is my suggestion for you, or a recommendation. And if anyone is looking for any help, any advice, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to talk, or in fact, you can check out my post where I do share a lot of like advice in terms of these are the hacks which I've learned being a recruiter.
Yeah, and I love it. I love your advice about taking a break, taking a pause, and just like relax. I don't know, take a day off and analyze your previous mistakes, like analyze your resume and check like whether you can improve it or not, like what you can improve and where you actually have this gap in the resume or during the interview process. I think that's very important, just to pause and think. Yeah, nobody wants like desperate job seeker wanting just to have this job in any way. All right. Yeah. Thank you, Nikita, for such valuable hints and insights. I hope this video will help many job seekers to find a job quicker. And I wish everyone a good luck in their job search. Follow Nikita on LinkedIn. She creates a lot of great posts. And if you want to try Careerflow.ai, please do. I will leave the link to this website on the description to this video. If you found this video informative and insightful, please give a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Your support can help reach more people who could benefit from this valuable content. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to share them in the comment section below. And remember to subscribe to my channel to stay updated with future contents. Once again, thank you so much for being with us today. And I look forward to you in the upcoming weeks. Thank you, Nikita.
Thank you. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
You.